Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Kevin and welcome to this free training video. Now, in this video, we're going to be going over how clinics should approach short-term transactions and long-term nurture. Now, these are the exact system that we're currently using to help clinics across the nation at anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month from dormant patient files. But you may be asking yourself, why should I even listen to this guy? In 2025, we recovered over $2.2 million for 75 clinics across specialty, and this exact system I'll be showing you today is the exact way that we were able to execute that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, what we're solving for here today is how do we approach short-term conversion and long-term nurture. When we think about acquisition of new patients, acquisition of new deals, we oftentimes think in terms of conversion right now. Can they buy today? Some will, not everybody. Some folks may be looking for a solution 1 week, 1 month, 6 months from now. How do we ensure that when they do need a solution that we are top of mind? This dual funnel system, what I'll be showing you today, is how we're going to be able to solve for that. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, I really need two funnels, a funnel on the left-hand side and a funnel on the right-hand side. If you're not familiar with funnels, something goes into the funnel, money comes out on the other side. So funnel is a top to bottom conversion model that allows you to understand what is the exact life cycle of my existing patients. The reason why we want two funnels is because you want a value funnel on the left-hand side and a loyalty funnel on the right-hand side. In our value funnel is where we do all of our selling, aka asking. And on the right-hand side is where we do all of our giving, aka goodwill. Now, there's a term that we use called patient relationship banking. Just imagine for a quick second here, you have a bank account and all you ever do is withdraw from that bank account. What's going to happen? You're going to run out of money. Now, what happens with patient goodwill? If all you ever do is ask them to come in for this, buy this, think about that, you're also going to run out of patient goodwill. The reason why recovery through reactivation works so well is because we're activating something that's hardwired in all of us, and that's called reciprocity. So we have to be willing to give first. But how? Now, first, we looked at cable television and monitored the perfect cadence between commercial and program. Your commercial is your give, your commercial is your ask, and your program is your give. What is the perfect amount of ratio between program and commercial where viewers are not tuning away every time a commercial comes on? And what we see is a 1-to-3 ratio. What that means is we should give before we ask. Treat the gives like the runway of an airplane. The bigger the runway, the bigger the plane. Oftentimes when health professionals come to me and they say, Kev, I'm seeing a compliance issue, I'm asking a lot of yes or no questions, I'm getting a lot of no's, right? That's usually a symptom that we haven't gave enough, and how could we if we don't have a systematic place to give? So that's what this solves for. Now, on top of both funnels is what we call traffic. There's only two kinds of traffic we can wield. There's paid traffic, and then there's organic traffic. Today, in the scope of recovery of revenue through dormant patients, I want to be focusing on organic patients that already trust you, like you, seen you, patients you've already paid to acquire. The reason why I want to focus on organic traffic first is because we can always turn on paid traffic. Think about turning on a water from a faucet. As long as I pay, water will come out. But if I don't have a bucket to hold that water, or worse, I have a leaky bucket, I will always be playing feast and famine. I will always be chasing new patients. The reason why I want to focus on organic today is I want to clog the leaky holes in the bucket before we even think about turning on the faucet. So organic traffic can go directly into your value funnel or your loyalty funnel. I'm going to start on the value funnel side because these are the patients who need a solution now. When I look at a funnel, I want to break the funnel down into 3 pieces. I have my top funnel, middle funnel, and my bottom funnel. For my top funnel, this is where my attraction offer happens. And we see attraction offers in the wild all the time, right? Free consultation, trial passes, assessments. These are just a great, easy way for patients who don't know about us, who's interested to learn a little bit more take a step towards us and raise their hand. Oftentimes what I see, this is common mistake number one, they start with their bottom funnel offer while there's no relationship or trust being built. Then they see a low conversion. So instead, we want to bake the sales process into the patient journey. We want the patients asking us, so what's the next step? That's the kind of conversation and patient relationship that we're looking for. So you start with attraction offers, then you move into low ticket, which is anywhere between $300 to $600. And then you move into, at the very bottom funnel, high ticket, which is anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000. To sell expensive packages, which is what we want, we have to be patient and bake it into the patient journey. Now, let's say for simple math, you have 100 people who take you up on your attraction offer. And let's say you have 70 who take you up on your middle funnel, low ticket offer. And then let's say you have 10 who take you up on your bottom funnel, high ticket offer. That drop off in conversion is completely normal, which is why funnels are usually narrower towards the bottom, because not everyone's going to go for my high ticket product, but I make most from my high ticket product. So we want to build this with that in mind. Now, that 30 people drop off, that 60 people drop off, completely normal, but 9 times out of 10, they slip through the crack and they never hear from us again. When they do need a solution, they go on Google, ChatGPT, who's the best blank near me? And they go somewhere else. So what we want to do with the 30 there and the 60 there is we want to funnel them into my loyalty funnel, where I can approach long-term and short-term nurture. Now, breaking down loyalty funnel, I also want to separate my loyalty funnel down into top funnel, middle funnel, and bottom funnel. However, the offer here is going to be very different because we're not selling anything. Here is where we do all of our selling. Here is where we do all of our giving. So my top funnel give should be some kind of a 10-page PDF, education material. When was the last time you looked at a patient and said, man, only if I can just educate you a little bit more, you'll really understand what's going on here. This is our chance to educate. Now, in the past, creating resources is cumbersome because it requires manual ideation and manual process to put everything together. Now, with AI, I'll recommend a few tools to you. Gamma App, Typeset AI. These are really great tools to turn outlines, even voice memos, into repeatable PDF offers. Now, the reason why I want to have PDF here is because I want people to learn more about the solution in exchange for, if we don't have it already, their phone number and email so I can contact them further. This is very low cost for you, but it builds over time your mailing list, your text list. So from a 10-page PDF top funnel offer, I want to move to my middle funnel newsletter. Now, the cadence that we like to see is anywhere from 2 to 4 emails per week. You may be thinking to yourself, man, that's a lot of emails. And you're right, because 9 times out of 10, there's nothing wrong with the system. You're just not doing enough volume. I mean, imagine if I told you, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. I've been going to the gym 1 time a week for 10 minutes. Why don't I have a six-pack? Well, you may not be doing anything wrong. You may just not be going enough. So the reason why your newsletters don't convert may not be because you're doing something wrong. It may just be because you're not sending enough of it. Now, quick little footnote around newsletters. When I say newsletters, health pros oftentimes think about their services. And yes, we should talk about our services, but a higher leverage activity here is talking about who we are and why we serve, aka our mission. We should be spending about 70% of our message around our mission and only 30% around our services. Why? Tell me if this hits home with some of you, but patients call you, call the shop down the street, they price shop you guys, end up going somewhere else. Waste everyone's time. Why? Because you're being commoditized. People see you no different than the offer down the street. The only value you bring them is discount. Even if they do come in, they become cumbersome, highly demanding, needy clients who churn as soon as they stop receiving that discount. Instead, what we're looking for here is premium positioning. I want you to sell in a vacuum. I want you to be one of one. The only way to be one of one is if patients buy into who you are and why you serve, they buy into your mission. Because once they buy into your mission, they become lifelong patients who recommend their friend and family, maximizing your lifetime value per patient. So back to our newsletters, right? Newsletters are middle funnel, and at the very bottom funnel, I want to treat this as my and in 2026, we see this work really well, VIP SMS group. The reason why we want to build the different tiers is, if you recall, we bake the sales process in the value funnel into the patient journey. I also want to build short-term and long-term nurture into the patient journey. Now, think about this as an example, right? As patients descend in my loyalty funnel, they increase perceived proximity to provider. What do I mean by that? Let's use that parallel again. As patients descend in my value funnel where I do all of my selling, patients increase their commitment to the clinic. They buy more expensive protocols, more sessions, more units. They increase their commitment to the clinic. On the right-hand side, as folks descend, they increase perceived proximity because your education material PDF is a stagnant resource coming on behalf of the clinic from the entity. One step warmer newsletters are routine updates coming from the clinic. One step warmer, these are routine updates, not stagnant. At the very bottom, my VIP SMS group, they're getting routine updates from you, the provider, or at least the perceived idea of you. The sign-off is Dr. Blank at name of your clinic. We want folks to increase their perceived proximity because that's how they build trust. They feel like they get to know about your business. They get updates from the business. Now they're getting updates directly from you. And guess what? If we send routinely updates, education, top of mind material, when folks do need a solution, you are top of mind. You are one of one. They will go right back into my value funnel. These are the only two funnels that you need. One place to consistently sell and one place to consistently nurture. When I look at new patient acquisition, that's only on value funnel side, which is important, but what you end up happening is you're going to play feast and famine forever. You're just going to have to run more ads, see more higher cost of acquisition, and there's no predictability in the business. Rather, right, 85% of you guys watching this video have this piece already solved. Can it be optimized? Yes. But is it happening? Yes, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. But if you insert a loyalty funnel, a place to short-term and long-term nurture with different tiers of perceived proximity to provider, building in the experience of increasing perceived proximity, building more trust with the provider before they convert, there is going to be more predictability and more trust with your patients. Now, let's just kind of bring this idea home, right? Let's take a look at growth curves. Which of the following growth curve would you rather enjoy? On the left-hand side, you have linear growth, meaning this is just, let's use paid ads as an example. I spend more money, I get more patients, but my cost to get those patients also increase. Linear growth. Or if I can consistently reactivate 1 to 3% of my patient database every single month while building that list, then my growth becomes exponential because 1% of 100 is 1, 1% of 100,000 is 1,000. As I continue to grow my list and I have a way to consistently nurture and convert old patients, then there's predictability. Your growth becomes exponential because the more patients that you acquire over time, the more lifetime value you can get out of each patient without increasing your cost to acquire. Now, I want to just bring this home with one last concept here, which is there's two ways to grow your clinic. I have yet to see a third way. Way number one, we get more patients. Number two, we make more per patient. Ideally, we want to do both. But if you at least have 500 plus patients in your database, you can start here. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars of ads every single month to get more patients. You can make the patients that you have worth more and find an additional 20 to 30 grand in your existing database. Now you have funds to run ads if you choose to, and offers that are already tested with your existing patient database. Let me see. That's it, folks. That's the dual funnel system for you here in action. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me through whichever channel you're seeing this video on. I look forward to answering your questions live, but this is my dual funnel system and the exact system that we've used to capture millions of lost revenue from dormant patient files for 75 plus clinics across the nation, across specialties. We'll catch you in the next one.